Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Just got done with season 8 of Love is Blind. That was terrible. Bet you didn't think I watched Love is Blind. No, did you? I actually think I'm going to make a video in the future, so stay tuned. It'll probably bomb, but it's going to be like how Love is Blind is kind of like selling options. If you're wondering how that analogy is going to go, stay tuned for that. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. That way you don't miss any videos in the future. Also, if you're new to options, you want to learn about the basics of selling options. This is a method that I've been using for many months now, and so far it's generated me over $2,000 a month. This month might be an exception, but if you want to learn the basics, I have this affordable course. At least I think it's affordable for what you get, and it's linked down below if you want to go check it out. It helps out the channel. I appreciate it. So far this month, we have made $891 in premium, though the value of the portfolio has gone down with all of this market uncertainty. At least we know the premium is a definite gain, and it hits our account and we can do whatever we want with it. Most of this, by the way, I just filled in some more trades that I forgot to from my Fidelity account, where I sell options on the SPY and I trade the wheel on the SPY. And that wheel has really been turning into just me selling calls on the SPY. And that's where a lot, and this should be noted too, that's where a lot of this premium has come from lately, is just selling covered calls on the SPY. And I got this comment on the channel, on my last video actually, asking for advice, which I don't give. I just share what I do, and you can take with it what you will. But they ask what my advice is if they're deep in the money in puts that they sold next Friday, and I think they're referring to Robinhood, and they sold them right when the market tanked, so they're pretty deep in the money, and I'm actually there myself with a few of my Sofi options. So I'll tell you what your options are. This isn't advice, by the way. I'm just going to kind of explain what your options are, and probably some of you are on the same boat that are watching this video, and I'm going to tell you what I am going to do based on what I've done in the past. And also, we're going to look at what I think makes this a little bit different, and at least in my example, and kind of the conclusion I came to. So I am in the same boat. I have this $15 put on Sofi, and if you've been following the price of Sofi, it's at $11.38. And no, I didn't make $390 in premium. It's far from it. This average credit is misleading because this is one that I rolled. So probably altogether, I would assume I only made like 50 bucks or so total after rolling it previously from this put that I sold. And this one also expires 3/21, so we're kind of in the same boat. And I'll show you what I've noticed lately about some of these puts that are in the money, at least from this week. If we go to roll this position, and I just go one more week out, the same put strike price, so it's $15, 3/21, is the original. The same put strike price a week out is actually worth less than this one that's expiring next week. And usually what happens is as you give something more time, that option becomes more valuable with the additional time. But if we look at this put that is 17 days out, you can see the delta is 1. And there's a 100% chance, according to Robinhood, that this is going to expire in the money, which is odd because if we look at March 21st with the same strike price, they're saying there's a 53% chance that this is going to expire in the money. And so this doesn't help me when it comes to rolling it. Because if I want to roll this out an extra week, I actually have to pay money to do that. Usually we're used to seeing the opposite. I roll it out in some time, and at least if it's at the same strike price, I'll get some credit for doing so. And really, this is one of the things you can do if you're in the money with your options, is roll it out. But in this case, at least for rolling it an extra week, it doesn't make sense. If we go farther out, you might see better pricing. So if we extend it to April 11th, which is 31 days out, we can see it's still less than next Friday, which just doesn't make sense for me to do. So that's one of the options. Second option is just buying to close it entirely, taking your loss, and looking at other possibilities. And then option 3 is I'm not going to roll this or even attempt to roll it until we get closer to the actual expiration date. So this expires next Friday. I have plenty of time until then. A lot can happen, as we've noticed the last few weeks between now and then. And lately, this is what I've been leaning towards, is if I'm in the money and, I'm considering rolling, but the option I want to roll is actually not expiring anytime soon, I am just going to let it play out until we get closer to expiration or even the day of. And who knows, maybe SoFi can recover a little bit, doesn't have to recover all of it by then, and then rolling it out will make sense. And let's say none of that happens, well then I think what I would do in this situation with this $15 put is I would just let it get assigned and acquire these shares. I know it's going to be a hit, and I know you're purchasing it, or I'm purchasing it at a higher price than it's worth. But I've mentioned this before, if you sell puts, I think the number one golden rule of selling puts is on a stock that you like and at a price you don't mind owning that stock at. So when I sold this put, I said to myself, I'm okay with owning 100 shares at $15. And though SoFi is well below 15, I have to stick with my word. And maybe that's not the answer some of you hope to hear, but that's, I guess, what I'm okay with. So that's what I'm going to do in this situation. I'm not telling you to do the same. This isn't advice. I'm just telling you what I think. And if you want to do something different, please let me know in the comments. I'm curious what you guys are thinking if you're in the money with some of your own puts. But that's how I'm going to let this play out. I'm just going to wait closer to expiration, see if it can recover some. And if rolling it still doesn't make sense then I'm just going to let it get assigned to me and then start selling some calls on it perhaps, and try to get some of the money back. So thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to check out the course, like I said, it's linked down below if you want to learn all the basics for beginners. And also the spreadsheet is linked down below as well, the template. And I hope to see you in a future video.